Mariners Spring Training on Root Sports is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
A pair of 2016 firsts for the Seattle Mariners tonight in the desert. It is their first night game and their first split squad action of the spring. Welcome to Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines. And James Paxton getting set to make his third start of the spring, battling Nate Carnes for the final spot in the rotation. Hello there, everyone. I am Angie Mentink alongside our baseball analyst, Dave Valley. And half of the Mariners roster is in Goodyear this evening, taking on the Cincinnati Reds. And the other half, which we have for you here on Root Sports tonight, is in home, or at their home in Peoria, taking on the Dodgers. Did you like the split squads when you
Never liked them.
No.
I didn't like split squads, but I didn't like the night games. Think of this. You're 3 weeks into spring training. Your body and your rhythm for your clock is in for the mornings, and now you got a night game. It just throws you off.
And then you got to be back
early
in the morning.
Back at 6 a.m. in the morning.
All right, time for our Lexus pitching matchup. Carlos Frias getting a start for the Dodgers after scheduled starter Alex Wood was a late scratch. Now, Frias will go up against James Paxton for the Mariners. Paxton trying to earn his spot in the regular season starting rotation. And it has been a rough go the past couple of years for Paxton. Limited to just 13 starts each season because of injuries. He had some success in those starts, though, supporting a 12-8 career record with a strong 3.16 ERA. And he's striking out nearly 20% of the batters he faces, 7.5 per every 9 innings pitched. All right, so Dave, when you look at Paxton, what does he need to do to cement that spot this spring in the rotation?
Well, Ange, I think the first and foremost thing is that James Paxton has to stay healthy. He has to be able to get that ball every 5 days in spring training, show some endurance as he starts to plan and work on some things. The things he needs to work on, number one, is a changeup. This is a pitch that I think can really be a game changer for James Paxton. We know he's got a good fastball. He's got a very deceptive delivery and a good breaking ball. But that one pitch, being able to have command over that third pitch, the changeup, is going to make him so effective. And the third thing I think he really needs to work on in spring training is get back to pitching inside. When he first got to the big leagues, he commanded that inside part of the plate against right-handers. He needs to start doing that again. And I like the fact that he showed up in spring training, Ange, in shape. He lost some weight. He's serious about this. If he stays healthy, we know the type of talent that he has.
Yeah, and if he can throw that changeup a little bit more, he won't have as many problems with that fingernail that gets so bothered by throwing the curveball. Paxton put in lots of work this offseason to give himself the best chance to succeed. Mike Blowers had the chance to catch up with the Mariners southpaw ahead of tonight's start.
Well, James, so far, spring's gone pretty well for you. I know you're getting ready to get your third start under your belt. How do you feel overall so far this spring?
I feel good. You know, I feel like I'm going along the process and making strides along the way, and just looking forward to the start on Saturday.
It looks like you did a lot of work this winter. I saw you for the first time the other day, and you lost some weight. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I came in to the off season, and Rick Griffin asked me to try and lose about 10 pounds just to kind of take some weight off my knees and make it so I can move a little better. And I went in trying to do that, and I just kind of kept on going because it was coming off and feeling good. So I came in about 20 pounds lighter this spring training.
That's outstanding. And then last year, of course, you had the issue with your fingernail, I believe it was. How is that going for you? Have you figured that whole situation out?
Yeah, the fingernail's good. It's still on there, so that's good news. It's feeling good, and throwing all my pitches and not having any problems.
So with every outing, you get stretched out a little bit more in this next outing. How many pitches do you think you'll throw, or do you know, and how deep into the game are you expecting to go?
I'm slated for 4 innings. I think that the pitch count's probably somewhere like 55, 60, I'm guessing. Just going out there, trying to throw a lot of strikes and work on some things I've been working on in the bullpen.
What are some of those things? When you get into the games, obviously you want to compete. You know, you're trying to get your job taken care of and all that, but is there anything in particular that when we're watching the game we should be looking for?
Absolutely. Last time I didn't use my curveball much, and they talked to me about mixing that in more since it is my second pitch. But I'm going to continue to work on the changeup and make that part of my game, and the high fastball as well. But definitely you're going to see some more curveballs on Saturday.
Well, good luck, and thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks. So we're getting set for first pitch in the Valley of the Sun between the Mariners and Dodgers. We'll have more when Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines, continues. impressive. Kyle Seager has improved his home run total every year since coming into the majors in 2011. He'll be in the lineup tonight when the Mariners host the Dodgers in Mariners spring training, presented by Delta Airlines. And back here at the Ford Sports Desk, the Dodgers were slated to start southpaw Alex Wood, but he was scratched this afternoon with forearm tightness. So in his place, Los Angeles is going to start Carlos Frias. As for who he'll be facing, here's a look at the Mariners starting lineup. It's going to be Norichika Aoki out in left field. Ketel Marte is your shortstop. Cano is your second baseman. Nelson Cruz will be DHing. Adam Lind out at first. Seager at third. Franklin Gutierrez out in right field. And Steve Clevenger is going to be doing the catching. And Boog Powell is out in center field. Now, Jerry Dipoto has built much of this Mariners roster with the intention of using platoons. But when the Dodgers scratched Alex Wood today, there were 6 lefties in the lineup against a left-handed pitcher. The reality is there are several lefties that we're going to be seeing in the lineup pretty often against southpaws like Kyle Seager and Norichika Aoki. Seager had struggled against lefties throughout his first 4 seasons, but he picked it up a big way last year, hitting .297 with 13 home runs and 35 RBI. As for Aoki, he's always hit lefties well, and it continued last year, batting .333. Baseball analyst Dave Valley-Reed joins me now. And Dave, why are these two guys able to defy the lefty-on-lefty splits that we normally see?
Well, one thing, Aoki's just has always been a very good hitter. And as I look back on my career, guys, the good left-handers that I played with, guys like Tino Martinez, Alvin Davis, John Olerud, Ken Griffey Jr., these guys kept that front shoulder in, and they started to learn when to give in against that left-hander. They're not always trying to do damage against that lefty. They'll take that base hit to left, and they'll pick their spots. But Kyle Seager just continues to get better and better. He's starting to enter a very sweet spot of his career, both power-wise and batting average-wise. I think he's starting to get an understanding of who he is as a hitter and what he can do when he's at the plate. The best is yet to come with Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, fantastic. Aoki, and then, of course, Robinson Cano. He's not bad either. He's a .287 career hitter against lefties. Well, we were hoping that we were going to see the brothers battling tonight. Kyle Seager against his brother, Corey Seager, but it is not to be. He left the game last night, and today we find out that he's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks with a knee sprain. Right now, we get you down to Peoria and connect with Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. Gentlemen.
All right, Angie, thank you, and welcome everybody to our first night telecast of the season. Welcome everybody to our first night telecast of the season, our third of 16 TV broadcasts coming your way from spring training. Good to have you with us as we look at James Paxton, a slimmed down Big Paxton. We look forward to seeing what he offers here tonight in this start, Mike.
Yeah, we do, and I had a chance, as some of you may have seen, had a chance to talk to James before the game today, and I'm looking forward to seeing him throw his curveball a little bit more. In his first couple of outings, he's basically been fastball, changeup, so we'll see the curve a little bit more today. Again, he's going to go 55, 60 pitches. Hopefully that will get him through 4 innings.
Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach, ran into him in the hallway, and he is insistent on that curveball. He said it's been too loose, not enough bite, and he said, don't forget, you're trying to make this ball club. Don't leave anything in your pocket.
Well, and that's something I asked James about. We heard a lot from Taijuan Walker last spring when Taijuan said, I'm not working on anything. I'm trying to make a team, and I think James is aware of what his situation is. But he really is trying to fine-tune that changeup. And you talk about Stottlemyre and the curveball. The curveball is his second best pitch. It's time for him to start throwing it a little bit more.
First pitch of the ball game in there for a called strike to Kiki Hernandez. Shortstop for the Dodgers. Split squad for the Dodgers. .65 the temperature, wind blowing pretty much straight out here at Peoria. Paxton working quickly, 1-1 pitch misses outside, 2-1. .65 but comfortable, and a really good crowd, and something, a rarity here as this pitch fouled back. Padres beat the Indians earlier today. That game ended at about 5:30 or so, and then the cleanup crew came in here and spruced this baby up, and here we go with a double dip. 2-2 to Hernandez. Pounds it on the ground to Cano. Goes to Lind, 1 away.
Take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Dodgers. Following Hernandez, it'll be Trace Thompson in center field batting second. Then you have Ethier hitting third. Van Slyke, the cleanup hitter. Ellis, Zaraga, Seguin, Hassan, and Herrera round out the 9 for the Dodgers this afternoon. So not many of the regulars making the trip here to Peoria.
Split squad playing at home, and Glendale down the road against the Cubs. Mariners split squad playing at the Reds as we speak. Here's Trace Thompson. LA native, traded over to the Dodgers from the White Sox. We saw him last August 22nd at Safeco Field, hit a home run off of Vidal Nuno in a 6-3 White Sox win. Thompson at 208 last year, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. Brother Clay, of course, and the world champion Golden State Warriors, who host the Phoenix Suns this evening. A lot of the Dodger regulars that you're familiar with. Angie was telling you about Corey Seager. He's hurt. A couple of weeks he'll be out here. Goody chasing one, and he made the catch. Jim Joyce down there hustling. Umpire down first base. And in line to watch Goody make that catch. 2 down.
And no surprise, Goodyear is able to cover a lot of ground. Then he gets close. That's a concrete wall over there. You can see the railing, too. I'm sure Scott Servais was holding his breath a little bit. He wants the guys to play hard, but he also wants to break camp with everybody healthy.
Scott on the right, Mel Stoudemire Jr. on the left, the pitching coach. Taking a lot of notes. Andre Ethier, one of the regulars on the Dodger Ball Club that did make it, but no Seager tonight. Jock Peterson, Carl Crawford, Chase Utley, Howie Kendrick, all not here this evening.
And we've seen it a lot this spring. The Mariners now with the shift on with Ethier hitting. So Marte, the shortstop, you can see him over there on the right side of the infield. Kyle Seager out at the shortstop position.
I got a kick today listening to Cardinal Radio, the great Mike Shannon and the great John Rooney. And Shannon was having a cow on every shift. They were playing Houston, and they were shifting like crazy, and Mike was losing it. And Rooney was right there goosing them.
You may as well just give in to it.
Yep. Marte throws out Ethier, and a good start at 1-2-3 first inning for James Paxton. When we come back, Nori Aoki will lead things off for the Mariners as they take on the LA Dodgers. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports being brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Buy steel. To find your local steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. And by Frontier Communications, providers of next generation Fios TV and internet. So you look at the corner of 83rd and Bell here in Peoria. Nori Aoki looks at strike one from Carlos Frias. starting tonight for the Dodgers. Nori 2 for 16 on the spring. In at third is Seguin, and that pitch fouled off. 0-2.
And unlike the Dodgers this evening, the Mariners, a lot of the regulars in the lineup. You have Clevenger, the backup catcher, Iannetta getting the night off, and you have Boog Powell in center field. But all the guys here are playing.
Home plate umpire is Tom Woodring. Count 1-2 to Aoki. So you look at Carlos Frias. Pitch outside. Frias last year 5-5, a 4.06 ERA.
Marte waiting on deck. That's something that Scott Service, the new manager, with the lineup, especially when he has his regulars. We've seen Seager hitting second quite a bit this spring, and also some Marte.
Fouled into the glove of A.J. Ellis. Aoki, a strikeout victim.
I asked Scott about that, and he said he just wants to see how many different looks he can have. That's what these games are for. Nothing's set in stone right now.
But eventually he does want to get a set lineup. Well, we've heard a lot about that. And a little meat to your diet. A lot of whiff there. Strike one to Ketel Marte. He showed bunt. We go through the remainder of spring training. See how many times he can get one down. Marte 7 for 13, hitting .385, no homers and a run batted in.
And we've talked about it with the Mariners. A big point of emphasis for the offense is on base percentage, and they've certainly helped themselves. They're hitting .307 as a team through the first 10 games.
2-1. Marte, totally different body language from a year ago at this time. He was a little bit nervous. Couldn't handle some of the routine plays a couple times in the game. But now he's feels like he's a bona fide shortstop, and I tend to agree with that.
We'll take a look at this foul ball. Looks like it's right off the top of his foot. Getting a piece of him, he seems to be fine. Yeah, a little bit of experience, Dave, will settle you down. Some success. He certainly had a lot of that last year when he was up towards the end of the season.
Works the count full, 3-2. Robinson Cano on deck. Went down and got a low pitch. Fouled it off, 3-2. Frias out of the Dominican Republic, Nagua, 26 years old. Dodgers signed him as a free agent in '07. 17 games, 13 starts last year. 3-2. Down and in. Ellis holds on. Strikeout number 2 for Frias.
Take a look at this last pitch. They want to go to the outside corner. It ends up down and in, probably off the plate inside, and Marte ends up chasing it.
2 up, 2 down brings up Robinson Cano. You may have seen on the MLB top 100 players right now, Cano ranked 15th. Check swing here. Herrera throws him out in a very quick inning for Carlos Frias. Second inning coming your way from Peoria. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. For tickets to next month's home opener, then visit Mariners.com/opening night. You're going to find information on how you can guarantee your seat by purchasing a 10-game flex pack or a 20-game plan. Check it out today at Mariners.com/opening night. Gorgeous sunset about 6:35 Mountain Time. Daylight saving time comes your way in Seattle coming up tonight. And Arizona will join the rest of the Pacific Coast on Pacific Daylight Time as you look at Scott Van Slyke. He's grown that beard out since we saw him last April when we were in Dodger Stadium. 2-1 so far. That'll be Van Slyke, Ellis, and Sean Zaraga. 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Well tagged, deep right center field. Boog Powell in the gap, cuts it off. Nicely done. Powell, a real effervescent personality. Went up and said hello, ran into him in the clubhouse. And good to meet you, and just a couple quick hellos and talking about his background and everything. Nice kid. Here's A.J. Ellis. Ellis last year, 238 hitter with 7 homers, 21 runs batted in. Ooh, look out. Dodgers come in with a record of 5-2-2. Mariners at 6-4. 2-0. Two groundouts, 2 flyouts so far. That hit well. Nice backhand down there by Seager. And holding the bag is Lind. Fine play all around. 2 outs.
And we've already seen a number of plays by Kyle Seager here in the spring, showing some range, going to his right. He knows it's the catcher running, so he takes his time, makes a strong throw across the diamond. No hurry at all for Kyle.
Nice job by Lind to get back on the bag. He came off and got back on. Good play. There's Zaraga, the DH.
And it looks as if James has a little better fastball than what we saw his last time out.
Well, what a lift Paxton could give this Mariner ball club if he could just stay healthier. Heard Dave Valley talk about that. He's only got 30 career starts in 3 seasons.
Well, like I was saying, Dave, I had a chance to talk to him a couple of different conversations, and he is aware of that. That's the reason why he lost the weight.
Powell will take care of this. 6 up, 6 down for Big Pax. Good start here for Paxton in his 3rd spring game. No score. Dodgers, Mariners. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Training in the Cactus League. Good to have you with us, everybody. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, and the Root Sports crew. Very pleasant evening here as the Dodgers pay a visit to the Mariners. Here's Nelson Cruz, and he too on that MLB Top 100 players right now. Number 27, Felix number 35, Kyle Seager number 48 at the top 100 players right now. Nelly looking for his first hit of the spring. He's 0 for 7.
He has hit the ball hard a couple of times. I think his last start he lined out to the left fielder.
A lot of spin on that one. Scott Van Slyke handles it. One down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Went over to Scottsdale yesterday, saw the Mariners win 5-4 over the Giants. Hisashi Iwakuma looked very sharp. He had a good breaking ball. That fastball that you always talk about, and rightfully so, the elevated fastball was very effective yesterday.
Right at the top of the strike zone.
Yep. Really good stuff. Here's Adam Lind. Looks at a strike. Adam 3 for 10 on the spring.
Well,
we were talking about Paxton being healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
I was going to say, you mentioned it with Paxton. They need him to stay healthy.
Give me some realistic numbers for your money. Expectations on starts for Pax and for Kuma.
Well, with Paxton, with James, I think it's difficult to gauge it just because of the injuries the last 2 years. Obviously, for him, it's a situation where one, he has to make the club out of camp. And if he's able to lock down that 5th spot, he's aware that he needs to stay in there. And, again, that's the reason why they had him lose some of the weight. But it's hard to put a number on that. I think for Iwakuma, I think you can be a little more optimistic with him. As long as he doesn't have the issues with throwing the split in his finger and that whole thing, you'd like to have him out there. I mean, you'd love to have him for 30, 32 starts if you could make that happen. What'll be interesting to see is how Scott handles it with those guys, how long he'll let them go, if he takes them out, especially early in the season, a little bit earlier than normal.
And that's dependent on what kind of bullpen you have. There's a fly ball center field. Thompson is under it. 2 years ago, the bullpen was lights out. Last year, April, they were taxed and wound up winding down. It just didn't work.
And they basically are going to have
brand new
bullpen.
National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Yep, Ken Griffey Jr. going in this year. That is going to be great. They have a nice display here. We'll hear from some representatives from the Hall of Fame coming up a little bit later when Brad Adams joins you in the middle innings. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Kyle Seager. Siegs is 5 for 15 on the spring on the homer and 5 runs batted in. And those are big question marks for the Mariners. Got to get those guys on a regular basis, talking about Paxton and Iwakuma. Figure, you know, Taiwan, big and strong. He's coming into his own. Felix is Felix. You should get your 30 out of those 2 guys easily.
And Miley, you're looking at 200 innings from Miley. He's shown that he can do that.
Broken back. Good grief. Woo. And the other thing, too, as we'll be watching, the construction of the bullpen. You know, as it stands right now, Cishek at the back end. You got Benoit in the 8th, maybe Zick in the 7th. Got to get Charlie back, Charlie Furbush.
Charlie is critical. We'll take a look at the swing by Kyle. I'm going to guess he has a cupped bat. And what they do is they hollow out the back end, or the barrel right there at the end of it. And every now and you hit the ball off the end of the bat, and it'll just splinter like that. But Charlie, I think, is critical for them. We saw it last year when he was absent and on the disabled list, how many times it ended up costing him, because Charlie is one of the best left-handers out of a pen. He can pitch a complete inning. He can work his way through the right-handed hitters. But most importantly, most of the dangerous hitters are left-handed, and you needed Charlie to come in and pitch in that 7th, 8th inning. So hopefully he's doing well. I spoke to him today. It sounded like things were going according to their plan. So that's a good sign, but they have to have Charlie out there.
Quick 3 called, and Kyle is dismissed. Frias on top of his game. He's retired all 6 that he's faced, just like Paxton. No score. Dodgers Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
back. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines continues. We are headed to the third inning, scoreless game between the Mariners and the Dodgers. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here along with Dave Valley. About halfway through spring training, so we're taking a little stock right here. So I'm going to go to you first, Dave. Who has impressed you the most as we hit the midway point?
You know, Angie, there's a few people that have really stood out, but I'm going to go with Stephon Romero. He's hitting .529 here early in the spring. He's got a home run, and he leads the ball club with 7 RBI. This is a young man who's trying to open some eyes and find a way to find a fit for this ball club.
Yeah, he hit .292 last year with the Tacoma Rainiers. All right, Mike Blowers, you're on the clock next. Who's impressing you?
Well, I think I'm going to stay with where the competition is at, and that's on the bench. And Sardinha, so far, from what I've seen this spring, has looked really good in the field. He's been swinging the bat well. We've seen him run the bases, steal from time to time. But he's the guy, I think, I'd like to see him a little bit more in the outfield, but he can certainly handle all the infield spots, including shortstop. So it's been nice to watch him play, and he's played quite a bit here in the first half of the spring.
Yeah, we find out that flexibility is going to be so key here for this Mariners roster under Jerry Dipoto and Scott Service. All right, Dave Sims, not last, but definitely not least. Who do you love?
I'm going to go with Jesus Montero. He remade his body last year at this time. He's maintained it, if not made it better, and he's hitting .294. And I think he's done some nice things down there. He's a lot more comfortable at first base.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see somebody like Jesus Montero, where there is a lot of pressure on him to do so, not crack under that. We'll hand it back over to you guys and actually thrive under that pressure.
Yeah, he's been good. And that's, tried to play it on the backhand and ate him up. That'll be an E5 on Seager. It's one thing in the drills when you're playing the backhand, but in real life, as you know, it's, what, twice as fast maybe?
It is, and you can see he's playing about halfway, and I think it hits right off the cut of the grass right there, and he wasn't sure which way it was going to go, whether it was going to stay flat or come up on him, and it ended up flattening out, so it was past him. But, hey, spring training for Kyle Seager, too. You can see the gold patch on his glove. He's one of the best in the business.
1 out, 1 on here in the top of the third. Elian Herrera, the second baseman, a switch hitter. Herrera, pretty good spring so far, 308 with an RBI, 4 for 13. Past the diving Seager. So an E5 and a base hit with 1 out coming from the bottom of the order here for the Dodgers as they threaten. Just joining us, both teams split squad action today.
And you can see Kyle playing even with the bag because of the speed of Herrera. One of the things that we have talked about down here in spring training, the infields are fast, and you can see how quickly that ball, even though it looked like James was able to jam him a little bit, how quickly it was able to get past Kyle.
Paxton retires the first 7, then an error and a base hit. Top of the order, here's Kiki Hernandez.
Yeah, it looked like the first couple of innings, James had a lot of fastballs, a few changeups, and now he's really starting to work that breaking ball, and we talked about it at the start of the game. He wants to throw his curveball a little bit more.
And he's working at a nice, brisk pace. Over our heads, strike 2. Over these last few years, you and I have had conversations with multiple people, and they say, look at this guy, says he's got ace stuff, just put it together.
Well, he does. At 6'5", his fastball, when he's healthy, is going to be right around 95 miles an hour. We know about the great curveball. Now he's developing even his changeup. That breaking ball was hit.
Boog Powell snares the line drive, 2 down.
But he's also a guy that is, for a power pitcher, he can keep the ball on the ground because of the angle. He throws straight downhill. There's a lot to like about James. Just keep him healthy.
Steve Clevenger out for a quick word. 2 out, 2 on. Trace Thompson, the hitter, fouled out to Gutierrez in right field. Strike 1 to Trace. Daddy Michael Thompson, an outstanding NBA player, multiple championships with the LA Lakers. Trace came over from the White Sox mid-December with Micah Johnson, Frankie Montas. Dodgers sent Brandon Dixon, a few other players. It was a three-way trade that also involved Todd Frazier going from Cincy to the White Sox. 1-1. Breaking ball, popped it up. Lynn taking a look. Clevenger taking a look. The wind does not blow it back. Paxton had a great run last May. May 12, 17, and 23. Beat San Diego, Boston, and won at Toronto. 10 games started through May 28. He was 3-3, and then he was out with the finger injury until September. Good looking breaking ball. Got him looking. And that'll do it for the Dodgers in the top of the third. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 left. No score from Peoria. Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. All right, Angie, thank you. We know one guy who's watching. John Ryan, punter for the Seahawks. He was tweeting earlier he misses baseball. He's glad it's back now. Big baseball fan. Saskatchewan. Goody, Clevenger, and Powell bottom third of the order against Carlos Frias. Franklin on the spring, 3 for 8, 2 homers, 3 runs batted in. You know, continues to battle ankylosing spondylitis, which a lot of pain in your joints, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows. And remember the 2 bombs he hit, one over the batter's eye, one to the right of the batter's eye. He says, I felt really bad that day. Really?
Yeah, he was also talking about that. So you try not to do too much, and the next thing you know, you square it up and you hit it 450 feet.
That is a poke.
What a year he had last year. Limited playing time, 15 home runs at 292.
It was a home run almost, about every 11 at bats. Too bad that wasn't enough to qualify for among the leaders. He stings this one into the gap. I was talking to Frank. I said, man, you look good. I said, what do you weigh? 215. I said, what'd you weigh when you got here? He says, $180.
He looks strong, and he looks like he's ready to go. And the other part about it, when we were talking to him, is he said he's already had a number of conversations with Scott Service to monitor him and his health.
Nice swing.
Yeah, he looks good. It looks to me that he's running better. Last year he hurt all the time, and for me, I felt there was times, and maybe it was because he was tired, wasn't running like we're used to seeing him.
Well,
but this spring, he looks,
sure.
with this spring, he looks like
Good
he's getting an opportunity to play. He's running well, and we saw him make that running catch down up against the fence in right field. Had to cover a lot of ground.
Steve Clevenger, Mariners obtained him from Baltimore. He's 2 for 9 on the spring. Serves backup catcher Chris Iannetta. Also plays some first base. Slices this one. This may work. Stay fair. It does. Goody to second. He'll get the third. And getting a wave on from Manny Acton. Now a late stop sign. Here's a throw to the plate. And it gets away from the catcher. Mariners on the board. It's 1-0 Seattle. On to throw. Clevenger gets to third. Oh, we had a chance to see Goody run.
He ran right through that stop sign, too.
Then he put it up. He waved him, and then he put a late stop sign, and he couldn't shut it down.
Yeah, it was late, and I think for Franklin, he saw it. He was right in front of him. But I think he felt at that point he was in no man's land, and he was just going to have to continue to go home. And a good throw probably gets him, but it was a short hop that the catcher, Ellis, wasn't able to handle.
On the throw, Clevenger, the third, gets a 2-base hit. RBI. Here's Boog Powell.
Take a look at Franklin Gutierrez. He peeked, and right there is when he sees Manny, but by then I think he thought it's too late.
Powell trying to pick up this run. That's his strike. 1-1. Boog 3 for 12.
Dodgers infield is back other than Seguin, the third baseman.
1-1. Chopper, that'll score a run. 6-3 RBI for Boog Powell. 2-0 Mariners. Boog picks up that run. And the best prices and access to the best seat locations for all games are available to Mariners season ticket holders. With full season and 20-game plans, you're going to save up to 40% on over single game prices, plus enjoy exclusive experiences, postseason priority, and more. So join the club when you visit Mariners.com/16 for more info. Here's a drive into the gap. Nori Aoki. He will shut it down and hold for the single with one out here in the bottom of the third, and the Mariners leading 2-0. Third hit of the spring for Nori.
He typically takes a lot of pitches, but he was aggressive in this at bat. A little breaking ball in the middle of the plate.
Tel Marte be the hitter. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch. First time up. Marte 7 for 14 on spring. Strike one. We will be with you again tomorrow here in Peoria against Cincinnati. 1:10 first pitch. And then Monday, Felix makes his first start of the spring. 1:10 first pitch against the Rockies. Look forward to that. Good third inning here for the Mariners. One out, one on. Good speed in Aoki and Marte. Count at 1-1. Get a chance to see a couple of guys we were talking about, the Mariner bullpen, DeFreitas and Aro. Get a chance to see them during the course of this game. A couple of guys vying for spot in the pen. There's a whole bunch of minor leaguers as well. Get a chance to see Gabby Sanchez. Daniel Robertson, he's had a nice spring. Pretty much the rest of the squad's over in Goodyear. Here's a ball swung on, popped up, short left field, long run for Ethier. Coming in, that's going to work. It'll be a base hit. Aoki trying to get the second in time. No, sir. They got him. Boy, that's a tough spot for Nori. A fielder's choice, Ethier, to the second baseman Herrera for the out 7-4.
For Aoki, you were talking about it. He started to run, and when the ball was popped up, he stopped him, went back towards first a little bit, and then it ends up falling in. No chance for him to get to second on time.
Probably Cano.
And Ethier did a pretty good job avoiding Seguin right there as he was on the ground. He almost stepped on him.
Scott Service asked him, what did you think, or what do you think? Here you are playing game number 11. He said, I like our team, especially now that I'm getting to know everybody. It's a big factor. First managerial job at any level. He and Jerry Dipoto certainly have a plan and putting it into action. It'll be interesting to get the reports from Goodyear, where the rest of the squad is playing tonight. 1-0 to Cano. 2-0. Three good innings from James Paxton. 2 strikeouts, 1 hit. Didn't give up a run. And Cano trying to keep this inning going with a 2-out base hit. Shortstop playing behind the bag. So hit foul. 2-1. Mariners will open the season on the road at Texas, 3 games, and then have a day off, and then play Oakland for 3 and Texas for 3. First 6 games. We look forward to seeing you out at Safeco Field. 2-1. Hit it right to Herrera. That'll do it for the Mariners. They pick up a couple of runs. RBIs by Clevenger and Powell. Stand by as Brad Adams going to make his spring debut for the middle innings of this ball game. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Desk. Many years ago, a fresh-faced Brad Adams called his very first game doing play-by-play. It was a Husky softball game with yours truly doing color. And now look at you. We get you back down to Peoria, and Brad Adams steps in for Dave Sims and has a little fun with Mike Blush. Brad, the weather, much better down there than that Husky softball game we did that many years ago.
It is, but you know, it is a little cool, Angie. Thank you. And you bring back some memories, some good, some bad, but it was fun, Mike. UW and Oregon softball game. UW was able to hang on to win that. I remember that. I remember not being very good, not knowing all the rules with women's softball.
Yeah.
Angie had to point out what a DP was, the designated player, certain different things.
I'm just glad that they were able to mix you in a night game here, because I know that you're probably not going to work tomorrow, right? You're golfing somewhere. I know that you've already played a couple of times, even though you haven't even been here for 48 hours.
I will be here tomorrow, Mr. Blowers.
Okay.
I did sneak in, tried to get you to go with me, but you were busy. As Ether lines a shot to center field for James Paxton. Ether continues to hit hot this spring and coming in at .455. But Paxton, I thought the first 3 innings looked really good. He wanted to work on the curveball, work on the changeup.
That's one of the things we were talking about, Brad, is the strikeout that he had to end the 3rd inning. It was on the curveball, and that's one of the best curveballs you're going to see. So, and that's the reason why they want him to start throwing it more, so he's more consistent with it. But that was a pretty good one. Looks like he has a good fastball. Imagine his fastball, 93, 94 miles an hour. His last outing, it was closer to 90. But he's also trying to build up his arm strength like everybody else.
Van Slyke, a little blooper to center field. So the Dodgers start the 4th inning, back-to-back base hits off of Paxton. It's a really good hitting team this spring. Dodgers hitting .316 as a team. Van Slyke over 400 as well. That brings up A.J. Ellis. Clevenger and Paxton have a little chat on the mound. Yeah, again, there's a 30-second clock when the manager or coach comes out.
Yeah,
but nothing for the catcher.
Nothing for the catcher. And you can see James now at 45 pitches. The plan was for him to throw 55, 60 and try to work through 4 innings. So this will probably be his last inning.
Love to get a ground ball here. Double play, make it a quick inning for James. First pitch strike. As Jonathan Arrow begins to warm up in the Mariners bullpen. Off speed, check swing, ground ball is what they needed. Over the second for one. Back to Paxton for the double play. Nicely turned. Lynn started it. Paxton able to cover and finish it for Marte.
Well, we talked about it at the start of the game, Brad, that Paxton has lost 20 pounds, and he gets over to first base in good shape right here, and that's been his issue. Some of his health issues is fielding his position, but does a nice job right there to keep his foot on the bag and complete the double play. I like the fact that Marte also gave him a little bit of time. He didn't just catch it and get rid of it quickly. He held it just for a little bit. Give James an opportunity to go over and cover.
So that erases one runner. Ether moves to third, 2 outs. Here's the DA designated hitter, Sean Zaraga.
And you like to see your pitchers take off right away, especially when you're down in spring training, because they work on it almost every single day.
Gets a little monotonous, I'm guessing, as they work on it, but it comes in handy here. And another ground ball, so 2 ground balls. Paxton a little wide of first, and boy, Marte pulls Lind off the bag. It's E6. Ethier able to score. The Dodgers cut it to 2-1. So Paxton should have been out of the 4th inning.
Pretty routine play for Marte. Maybe a little bit too casual on the throw.
Lind trying to get back to first. No replay. But no worries for Paxton. Next pitch is popped up. Boog Powell coming in to take this one. He handles it, and that is the end of the 4th inning. But the Dodgers, thanks to an error by Marte, get on the board. Mariners up 2-1, going to the bottom of 4th. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. It's a nice night in the desert. They told us dress warmly tonight. You see everybody in pants, sweatshirts, jackets. Game time was 65 degrees. That'll drop. We'll be in the 50s shortly here. Not that we're complaining or want anybody to feel sorry for us out here, right?
It'll be in the mid-80s before you know it, Brad. And it'll nice be little break for the guys to have a couple of days. I think the high today was around 72, so it was a nice little break for them.
New pitcher for the Dodgers, right-hander Ross Stripling on the mound. He gets a first pitch strike to Nelson Cruz. Nelly just needs some at-bats coming into the game, just 7 ABs. Saying everything's fine, feels good. He just wants to get some at-bats going. So DH tonight. And you've talked about it before, Blow. I think the magic number that he likes is 50. 50 ABs in spring, 55.
That's pretty typical for most players. I think most of them feel that when they get to between 50 and 60, they're starting to recognize the breaking ball. They can certainly time the fastball by then, but you're trying to slow the game down. I think typically when you get 50, 60 at-bats down here, you feel like you're ready to go.
Kind of fists that one to center field, but so strong, Thompson's got to back up a little bit.
But it's not like that for everybody. I can remember Edgar Martinez, the hitting coach now for the Mariners. When we would have spring training, when we were playing together, he would be in the games as the DH. But there were a lot of times where he would go down to the minor league fields in the morning at 10 o'clock when they were playing, and he would lead off every inning just to get 9 more at-bats in the day, because he was probably closer to 100 before he felt that he was ready to go. And hard to argue with him.
Results speak for themselves, no doubt. As Lynn steps into the box, he's 0 for 1. Fly out to center field there in the second. Lynn, of course, one half of the first base platoon. Interesting to see him start a couple of days ago on a game on Root Sports against the Cubs against John Lester, a tough lefty.
Picked up a base hit off of him, too.
So Scott Servais saying today that, I'm not sure if it's just going to be an automatic platoon situation. First game at Texas, a chance Cole Hamels gets that start. He's thinking maybe Lynn gets the start that day. He's not saying that just because it's a tough lefty, Lynn won't be in the lineup.
I would be surprised if he gives him an opportunity.
That one's in the seats in left field.
We'll see. I think, there's a number of guys in camp. We've already talked about Montero. Stephen Romero is really having a good spring, and he's going to get more and more time over at first base. So they're looking for a right-handed bat. We have Lee in camp now, and Gabby Sanchez.
Bouncer to Van Slyke at first, nicely done. Steps on the bag for out number 2.
They have options, Brad. It doesn't necessarily mean, to your point, that whoever it is that wins that job is necessarily going to be out there every time a left-hander starts, or is going to pinch hit, later in the game if they bring the lefty out of the pen.
Here comes Kyle Seager. Shattered that bat, his first at-bat in the second. I asked Kyle today what he's been working on swing-wise off-season. Wanted it to stay back more and get the right path, a better path. And I'm saying, is that going to affect you when they shift like they are now? And he said, if you have the right path, shift won't bother me.
Right. We saw Kyle last year a number of times take a shot at hitting the ball the other way, just to hit against the shift and pick up an easy base hit. So he's capable of doing that. I know when he first came to the big leagues, he really sprayed the ball around. Then all of a sudden he started hitting power to right field. So he started to pull the ball quite a bit more. And I don't think you want to take that away from him, but he has the ability to hit the ball the other way.
Hits it right to the shift there, short right field. And Seager's out. A 1-2-3 inning for Stripling and the Dodgers. We're going to be talking to Brad Horn, a guy who's going to talk about that guy, Junior, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's coming up next. Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. Every Monday, experience the greatest Mariners moments from last season with Mariners Mondays. Tune in this week at 10 p.m. Pacific as the King takes on some of the best. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Heading now, top of 5. Seattle leads 2-1. New pitcher Paxton out after a stellar 4 innings. Jonathan Arrow in for the Mariners. And in the booth, as promised, you can never have too many Brads. That's what I like to say. Brad Horn joins us now. I might be the only one to say that. Well, you might too, Brad, being a fellow Brad. VP of Communications and Education for the Hall of Fame. In Peoria to talk, obviously, Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, Ken Griffey Jr. We'll get to Jr. in a second. But I'm guessing, as you guys have a booth out here along the third base concourse, a lot of fans from the Northwest going to make this trip, myself included, the first time ever. So what can we expect, the overall experience there in Cooperstown? Where to stay, what to do? What's available for us to do?
How to get there.
How to get there. Great point.
These are all great questions we're here to answer. And we could not be more excited for what we're coining the Summer of Junior in Cooperstown. We expect many fans to make that pilgrimage. It is a coast-to-coast journey. We are located 75 miles to the west of Albany, the state capital, about 4 hours north of New York City. Also some proximity there, 90 minutes to the southeast of Syracuse, 4 hours from Buffalo, really right in the heart of the state, nestled at the foothills of the Catskill Mountains. So Cooperstown is a very pastoral village setting, about 1,800 year-round residents. It's a place where baseball's memories and dreams are preserved and come to life. Baseball is not the only game in town, but it is certainly the game when it comes to summertime travel. We have 2 other world-class museums. We have an idyllic Main Street small-town Americana that has seemingly worked its way out of our culture. It still lives in Cooperstown. So it's a beautiful community where baseball is king.
As Dodgers leadoff hitter Hassan bloops a single as Goody cuts it off. Single to right field. So single to lead off here against Jonathan Arrow in the 5th.
Well, Brad, I've been there. I've been fortunate. I've been to Cooperstown a couple of times. Having seen the town, where are all these people going to stay?
Mike, we've done an amazing
Opening
job.
up your house, are you?
People rent out their homes, their lawns, they park cars in their driveways. The whole community really gets into it, and obviously the price is right for many of them because they open their homes for that reason. But supply and demand of a village in 1,800 people, all the hotels by and large are full at this point. People stay in Albany, Syracuse, Oneonta, Binghamton, communities all within about an hour to an hour and a half's drive. And at this point, that is the realistic option of where you're going to stay. We have a great travel partner, Sports Travel and Tours. It's books our travel for fans to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, Herrera just leaves the yard, almost leaves the berm to right field. A 2-run shot. So single home run, and Dodgers have taken the lead now. 3-2 here in the 5th.
So Cooperstown's a place where everyone in that central New York area knows that for 4 days at the end of July, it's going to be an invasion. People are going to be there to celebrate Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza, the 50-plus Hall of Fame members who return, our award winners for the Spink Award for Writing Excellence, the Frick Awards for broadcasting achievements. And really, to me, it's like seeing your baseball card collection come to life. You know, there are guys that will come who will be there to support Junior from teammates. There will be guys that have played throughout the part of the game who are there on Main Street that might do autograph signings. It's just really an amazing unification of the baseball world across many different generations to celebrate the highest honor possible in baseball, to be a part of that top 1%.
So July is when this is all taking place, obviously. And so I'm guessing summer is your busy time. Are you busy throughout the year? Is there a better time to go if you want to go and not experience maybe the induction ceremony? You want to just come to Cooperstown and see the museum, see everything? Is there a better time for that? Or
we open the year round. We feel that the ability of us to stay open for baseball fans is really imperative. Some key dates: July 22nd through 25th is induction weekend. The induction ceremony falls on the 24th. which happened to be Griffey's uniform number.
That was nicely done by you guys. Well planned.
Thank you. We've been working on that one for 5 years since his retirement.
You knew that.
But we're, 70% of our visitation comes between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Let's face it, when kids are out of school, that's the population that's going to target a trip to the Baseball Hall of Fame. My favorite month in Cooperstown is October. I think it's a beautiful time with the leaves changing. We have diehards that endure the January and February cold and snow because they want to have the museum all to themselves, and they can come in, and on any given day we might have just a handful of people depending on the weather, but they take their time reading every word on every plaque, seeing every exhibit. So Junior's plaque will be hung in the gallery on that evening of July 24th, and it'll be a great way for fans, if they can't make it that weekend, to come plan a trip for August or some point thereafter, so they get a chance to see how he's commemorated and see that smile of Ken Griffey Jr. preserved in bronze forever.
So Junior goes out there. He's inducted. Highest vote total ever, which is unbelievable and fantastic. And we're all very proud and happy about that. What is his weekend going to be like? What type of activities? What are you going to do and put Junior through for that weekend?
So we try to walk a fine line between giving guys an opportunity to experience it as a family, and yet meeting the obligations in this day and age of a public event. We tell our guys as they come in every year that Hall of Fame weekend is much akin to a family wedding. We want to give them the opportunity to spend some time together. There's going to be a time when everybody comes together. But, Ken and Melissa, his wife, and their kids have the neat opportunity that they're joining a fraternity that's very few have ever achieved. And so we want to give them time to meet and bond with other Hall of Fame members. Then there's the public event when, we're expecting probably 40 to 50,000 fans to be on hand on that Sunday for induction.
Is that typical, Brett?
That's a high crowd, average of about 25 to 30,000 on average. So that level of public focus, they do an event on Saturday. The Main Street Parade of Legends on Saturday night is my favorite event. We've been doing it about 5 years. All the Hall of Famers ride in Ford trucks down Main Street. Ken and Mike will be at the back of the parade as the most recent inductees, and that makes their way into a private reception we have at the Hall of Fame that evening. And then Sunday is really the big day. All eyes of the baseball world on them, and the words of their speech will be part of their defining legacy. And that's something we talk about with the inductees. We talk about it with Ken, talk about it with Mike. Really make sure that those words they say that day are something they're comfortable with and something that's heartfelt, that will stay a part of them with their legacy just as much as their career on the field.
Have you heard from any of the other Hall of Famers, and is there an excitement about Kenny going in and those guys bulking into a very exclusive club?
Absolutely. I talked to a number of guys who were just in awe of watching him. Al Kaline was a guy who was a teenage outfield phenom back in the early 50s, and Al went on to a great Hall of Fame career. And I asked Al, I saw him last month, if there were some parallels that he saw with Junior being the young guy. And he just said absolutely. He said he's one of the guys that was probably the all-time best ever to watch in his mind, one of the all-time greats. And so he was excited to see Ken go through what he remembered going through, what he's been a part of for 35 years as a Hall of Fame member. I've been a part of the Hall of Fame family now for 14 years, and to go through inductions and to see the emotional connection that players have with their own heroes is amazing. I think that's one of the more unique opportunities we bring to the game.
Do you get to go to the private party? Because that's what I would like to see. That would be unreal.
I have to be around for all the weekend, so I definitely get to be present for many of those occasions. I'm not necessarily having as much fun as everybody else since I'm working, but my relationship with the Hall of Famers, with Hall of Fame families, has been a fabulous, unexpected benefit of the job, because when they come back to Cooperstown, you see the reverence in their eyes. You see the awe and amazement. as they look to their left and to their right and see who they're alongside. And I think that's one of the things that baseball has. I think that's why people love Cooperstown so much and revere what we do, is that there's this exclusive mark for the all-time greats that everybody can debate and everybody can analyze, and any fan can do it from any part of the country. And when their guy gets in, it's a life-changing moment.
And you've got the booth, as we've seen during the interview on the third base side, giving out information, letting people know what to expect, how to get there, travel stuff. Is that what they'd expect here if they come out and plan to come some games here in Peoria?
Absolutely. We felt it's really important that the people who support the Mariners understand what we're about. We're going to have a booth here for the next 7 days. There's over a 9-day span, 7 games in that time here at Peoria, just to share information, to connect their travel planning, and maybe move a few who are on the fence over to our side to make the journey to Cooperstown. It's just really an amazing place and an unparalleled baseball weekend that fans will remember for their entire life.
Ethier pulls that one foul. What did you think about Kenny saying that he's never been to the Hall of Fame? He's waiting until if he got in. What did you guys think about that?
I really respect that. I admire that. I've heard that from a couple of other guys over the years of not going to go there, too superstitious. You know, we obviously like to, and we welcome a number of active and recently retired players over the course of the year at the Hall, but we can respect that, and now he'll go in as a member of the club.
Well, Brad, we appreciate the time. Good luck out here, and look forward to seeing you in Cooperstown in July.
Thanks,
with that guy, Ken Griffey Jr. Brad Horn, thank you very much. Dodgers up now 3-2, heading to the bottom of 5. Three-2 Dodgers taking the lead with 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning off Jonathan Nareau. 2-run shot there by Elian Herrera. And they've got a 3-2 lead. And it is a beautiful weather. Hotter than usual down here. Hotter earlier.
This is comfortable tonight, though. I know
Very
it's
good
supposed,
tonight.
as you mentioned, it's going to get down into the low 50s, but it's comfortable this evening.
So players getting kind of a first a double tonight under the lights for the first time, and then a little cool weather. Yeah, and I think when you're down here, Brad, and you're at the facility early in the morning, every single morning, working on the drills. This is a nice little break for the guys. You get a chance to play a night game and a little bit cooler conditions for them. So I'm sure a lot of them are looking forward to playing this game tonight. Goody leading off, swing and a miss there. He's down 0-2. Singled in the 3rd, scored a run. Is there something, though, to getting a first night game and just, seeing the lights playing under it and just kind of getting used to it? I know when I was playing, we were here and we had our night games, and we normally only have a couple of them, 2, maybe 3.
I always look forward to playing in them. It gives you more of a feel of what's coming up here in the next 3 weeks. You know, you kind of get excited about that kind of stuff, and it's just different. It's different than what you've been doing every single day down here.
All day games and mostly all night games during the regular season. As Goody swings and misses at a good fastball. Goes down on strikes. One out here, top of the fifth. There's the complex. Done a lot of improvements over the last couple of years.
Looks great. They've really done a nice job here.
Keeps growing and growing. Steve Clevenger steps up. Had a double and also scored an RBI double there in the third. Brought home Gutierrez. He was supposed to stop at third, but
it worked out. Brad.
It worked
out.
Clevenger trying to win that backup catcher spot. Of course, the story that I like about him said he was with the Orioles last year. Called up. He takes a look at a curveball for a strike. Down 1-2. Called up for the game in August and was supposed to be in the lineup as DH when Kuma threw his no-hitter at Safeco Field. But his traveling secretary booked him a ticket out of a different airport. So he never made that flight. Never made that game. And Kuma had his no-no. Not to say that Clevenger would have got a hit, but you never know. He bounces out to first. When you purchase single-game tickets at a Mariners team store, you'll save 10% off all regularly priced merchandise, like the new 2016 Navy alternate road jersey. Gear up for Mariners baseball when you get tickets at one of the 5 convenient team store locations. One of the improvements to the new team store, you see it here, big and impressive. Everything you could want for any Mariner fan throughout the year. Powell lays one down. This one might stay fair. It does just trickle foul, but another example of Boog Powell and what he can do and what he is willing to do to get on base.
Well, his game is speed. Getting a chance to start in center field tonight, and I was surprised that the ball actually stayed fair as long as it did. Another look at the team store. Busy place tonight.
Fastball outside of 1-1. Take a look at Stripling for the Dodgers, their second pitcher tonight. Trying to come back from Tommy John surgery. Made 14 starts last year in Double-A. Good breaking ball. Boog nods his head. Just plays the game with a lot of exuberance. Talking about Boog Powell. Happy to be here. It's his second big league camp. One of the new guys, one of the many new faces here in Seattle. Just misses. He says it's really, nice and cool for him to be able to play with some of these guys he's rooted for and watched. He's a Southern California kid, so he's an Angels fan. He said, boy, Chris Ionette, I've liked that guy for years. And I said, yeah, now I'm playing with him. He said, make sure you tell Chris that. Make him feel old. But he's having a good time at a good camp. And the type of player that Jerry Dipoto and Scott Service certainly like.
Well, here in spring training, he's shown that he can cover a lot of ground in the outfield. You definitely want to keep an eye on him this year, see what kind of year he has.
Good eye there. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at some point.
Oh, I think that you're right. If you look at it, Martin obviously going to be the starting center fielder, but if something were to happen to him, he goes on the DL, he'd probably be the guy that they would call up.
Works a walk, down 1-2. He comes back, lays off some tough pitches, draws a 2-out walk from Stripling. And that'll bring up Aoki, 1 for 2. Strike out in a single. Mariners have not been shy about running so far this spring. Look at the skipper. Through 10 games, likes what he sees out of his team. 6-4, 3-game winning streak. Said he liked him when he got the job, and he likes him now that he's seen him. Likes what they're doing this spring, trying to control the zone on offense. We just saw Boog Powell work the walk.
And they've been doing that in spring. I think some of the additions have certainly helped. One of them, Aoki, in the batter's box right now, certainly going to be a big part of that.
Stripling's lost the command a little bit here, and Ellis going out and having a chat with him. Counts 2-0 to Aoki. You see 30 pitches already for that man. Powell leads off first. Swing. Little chopper foul off the first base side. Count now 2-1. Well, the fans just begging for it out there. Hopefully he got it.
A really nice crowd here tonight.
I was going to say, a lot of kids to choose from to give foul balls to. This looked like almost as big as that Cubs game was a couple days ago. Okie again. Fouls that off. All right, give it to him. Give it to him. We can hear him crying for it.
As you mentioned, there's a lot of them over there.
The berm full out there. Both sides of the berm full. The pavilion and left full as well. Still somewhat early in spring, too. This is game, well, with the split squad, it's game 12. So attendance usually picks up spring break, and there goes Powell. Good pitch to run on in the dirt. It's the second stolen base of the spring from Mr. Powell. And a full count. 2 outs to Aoki. Payoff pitch. Another foul ball. Marte on deck. Like seeing him in the number 2 slot and Seager number 6 tonight.
It's a bit of a change. We were talking about it earlier, Brad, and Kyle has hit second quite a bit here in the early going of spring. And when I talked to Scott Service about it, he said he wanted to see a number of different lineups. Not surprised to see Marte hitting second tonight.
But Seager seems to be a type of hitter that can hit second, hit third, hit fifth, hit sixth. Plug him in anywhere.
And I doubt that Kyle cares either.
Right.
You know, I think you can put it, he just wants to be in the lineup every day, and I don't think it matters to him. I don't think in other words, if he's hitting second or if he's hitting fifth in the lineup, I don't think he changes the way that he goes about his business.
3-2 pitch again. Low, another walk. So back-to-back 2-out walks here in the 5th. 2 on for Marte. Some activity in the Dodgers pen. We'll see how much longer Stripling goes. He's at 36 pitches now. Marte up 0 for 2. Strikeout, the fielder's choice. Chance to pick up a run here with the base knock. First pitch swinging right to the shortstop. Force. Aoki at second, and that's it. So the Mariners leave 1. Get a couple of walks, but no runs here, and they trail 3-2 after 5. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Mintic here at the Ford Sports Desk. If you missed watching the Seattle Sounders play against Real Salt Lake earlier today, well, then be sure to catch a re-air available everywhere tonight at 10 p.m. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Let's get you back down to Peoria now.
Angie, thank you very much. There's that left field pavilion we were talking about. Built that last year. Premium spot to be, especially during day games when it's nice and warm. Nice to have a little cover, a little shade.
Busy tonight.
Busy Saturday night. Place to be. And a new pitcher for the Mariners, Andrew Moore. Right-hander, was in short A Everett last year. 7 starts, went 3-2. Drafted 2nd round last year out of Oregon State University. Lots of Beavers on this roster. A lot of success the last few years. More changes. Daniel Robertson out in left field. Oakie's done. RB Fields in right. Goody's done. Let's take a look at Van Slyke. Leading off here, top of the 6th inning. Van Slyke 1 for 2. Single and a fly out. The high fly ball center field. Mr. Powell going back on this one. Out number 1. I think most games he plays, he's going to get dirty. Somehow Boog's going to find a way to dive, slide, do something.
He's your kind of player, Brad. I can tell.
Exactly.
I can tell you like him.
I do. What does Jerry DiPoto call him? A dirt devil, a dirt dog guy who mixes it up. First pitch, swinging, base knock. A.J. Ellis with a single. He's now 1 for 3.
Do you enjoy coming down here to spring training?
I do. I do. I feel
you're around the ballpark all the time at Safeco, and obviously you're working there all the time. But it's a different feel and a different look when you get down here, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is, and more so this year because you talk to all the guys, you meet the new guys, and you talk to the Seegers, the guys who, the crews, the guys who've been around, Taijuan Walkers today, saying it is a different feel. It is a kind of a looser. It's fun. We're getting the work in, but it's just it's a lightness around the clubhouse, and these guys they're enjoying it. They're getting the work in, and they like what they're being told. They like the meetings. They like what Scott Service is doing each and every day. Getting to know each other. The pool tournament is a huge success. So I think it's very positive right now. As we see a skipper there next to Dan Wilson. And that one's got a chance. A little check swing. Going to work out to be a single as Zaraga goes back to first base, but A.J. Ellis able to get all the way to third on a check swing base knock to left field.
Pretty good fastball. Tried to check his swing, and every now and then something unexpected happened. He'll pick up a base hit down the line.
Hitters like to say that all evens out, right? You get robbed a few times. Sometimes those go in.
The good hitters don't feel that way, Brad. They really don't. They don't.
No?
No, I've talked to them. They don't. Talked to Edgar. He didn't feel that they evened out for him, which I would agree. Junior, who we were talking about earlier, I would agree. It's not going to even out for those guys because they just consistently hit the ball harder than anybody else. Those things you were talking about with the guys in the clubhouse and the atmosphere and the thing you're going through. I talked to Scott Service, and he said that he wants that to continue into the season. Keep doing it. So it's not just a spring training thing.
Lower high with the fastball, 1-2 now. Swing and a miss there. Strikeout. Some more. It's out number 2.
Pretty good breaking ball. Swings over the top of it.
That'll bring up Alex Hassan. Single scored in the 5th. He's got 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Dodgers still lead 3-2. First pitch strike from Moore. I think baseball season being so long, Blow, it's good to have that not just camaraderie, but the lightness that they're having fun all season long, trying to do that.
Wow.
Keep upbeat.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what you do. If you enjoy coming to work every day, you're going to be more productive, right? It just makes sense. And I think that was the biggest part of it. Was Scott talking to him at the beginning of camp, as he said he wanted it to be that way because there are so many new faces, new manager, new coaching staff, and a lot of new players. They had 60 guys in camp, and 31 of them were not part of this organization last year. So along with trying to figure out your ball club and getting to know these guys, he had to move that along quickly, and I think that the meetings that they've had in the morning have been a big hit.
It's something new and fresh for veterans. I would imagine that maybe about now or another week from now, another spring training starts to drag a little bit. You're ready for the season. Shot to left field. Robertson goes back on it. Able to reel it in. So Robertson just in the game. Gets out number 3 from Hassan. And Moore gets out of some trouble in the 6th as we head to the bottom. Dodgers 3-2 on Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. First night game here in the desert. I guess that's what Cactus is looking like about now. It is pretty, and then the speed pitch. What's that, 84? That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
He had to either warm up or that was about his 15th throw.
What did you register at?
Oh, I was like high 40s.
Okay.
With some pain. I'm not kidding. I mean, you crank it up with no warm up. It's just, oh. Now we got. Oh, he looks like he must get several. That's certainly warming up, this guy.
There we go.
Okay. 75. That gun seems a little hot, but that's good, though. You want one. Cano steps in. New pitcher, Chase DeYoung for the Dodgers. In single A last year. 80. Again, that's very respectable.
We were talking about the kids last inning. They all love that. They'll all stop by and try.
That and the little wiffle ball park. Let's see what they do. You get them up there. There you go. That's a mound. There you go. That's a mound. This seed, throw from here. There you go.
Good.
Yeah. Nice the gun still registers. A little inside on that one.
He's trying to move him off the plate.
Oh, that's right. Purpose pitch. Gonna give him an extra one. There you go. Cano takes ball 3. It's a full count. The Mariners' second baseman is grounded out twice to the second baseman of the Dodgers. There you go. Well, you're right. It's just a constant line there.
What's his first name?
Get the 4 throws. You don't want to go all out till probably number 3. Cano puts a charge into that one. No down to right field. 3-2 pitch. Cano ready for it. Tie game.
So Cano, his second home run of the spring. Turned on a pretty good fastball. Lined it out of here. And this will probably be his last at bat of the evening. You can see that pitch. They wanted to go away, left it middle in.
Well, he's moving better. You talked about Goody moving better. Cano's another guy who feels good. He said that he hadn't felt this good till, to go back to, I think he said the first year in Seattle, 2014, back then. I mean, nothing at all in the offseason last year or all season long. Never felt this good. You just get the feeling, talking with him, you know, you've seen him all these games now, that he's going to have a big year.
They need him to. He's really, really, really important to their lineup. And last year, we've talked about it a lot. Got off to the slow start last year. Still ended up having a pretty good year, but they need him to be firing on all cylinders. And last year, as you mentioned, Brad, playing hurt most of the season.
As Cruz steps in, 1-1 count now. Fouls that one straight back. Cruz 0 for 2. DH tonight. This at bat, maybe one more. He tries to get his ABs up. He sat out a few games with a little minor knee irritation. Nothing serious, though. He's good to go. He's played right field. Don't think he'll play right field as much as he did last year, though.
No, I don't think he will.
A shot to right field. All the way back to the warning track. Boy, it looks like he just routine fly. That thing goes all the way to the warning track. Let's see what we've got. 64, 80. What did we see? We saw an 86. 90? Woody threw a 92? Boy, even if that is a fast gun, you might want to get him on a mound.
I was thinking, hopefully there was a scout standing by.
That's what they'll do next. Just put a scout there for all home games and just watching. You never know, right?
You might get that phone call yet, Brad. You might get the phone call.
Oh, well, that would be some desperate times if I got the phone call. It's Adam Lind in the box. Count now 1-1 as we've got tonight's starting pitcher, Mr. James Paxton. We've got a lefty in the box. We've got a lefty on the mound, Mr. Paxton. 4 nice innings from you. You had to be pleased with what you accomplished tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, felt really good about it.
James, when we were talking the other day, you talked about wanting to throw your curveball a little bit more this evening. Were you able to do that? I thought you threw some really good ones, but did you throw as many as you wanted to?
Yeah, the first 2 innings, I kind of just went fastball changeup for the most part. Didn't really get to the curveball, but then we mixed it in a little more in the 3rd and 4th, and kind of got it going. I left a few over the plate that I was trying to bounce, but I think that'll just come with time, just throwing it a bit more and getting used to it.
And it looked to me, this being your 3rd outing tonight, I thought it was probably a pretty good night for you velocity-wise. How did it feel coming out of your hand?
It felt pretty good. I wasn't really focused on throwing really hard. I was just trying to be smooth and find that rhythm. There's a few pitches that I kind of let go a little bit in the counts that needed it.
Oh, and one thing I have to say, too, you made a pretty nice play over at first base, jumping off the mound and were able to keep your foot on the bag.
Yeah, all that weight I lost helped me get over the bag a little bit, so it was
That's
good.
a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That, and of course, being flexible now with our yoga.
Oh, absolutely.
That we're doing. Keep that up.
To get the stretch going there.
Exactly. Hey, nice job tonight, James. Appreciate the time, man. Good luck next turn.
Thank you very much.
He really looked good tonight.
He did.
Probably go 5 innings his next time out. Maybe stretch him out to 6.
Now, is he a guy, let's say he doesn't win the 5th spot in the rotation, is he a guy that you'd like in the pen, or would you like him in Tacoma?
No, I think he's going to be in the rotation if he's on this club.
Seager up, count 1 and 2. The Mariners' 3rd baseman. Seager's 0 for 2 tonight. About to be 0 for 3 as center fielder's got this one. After the home run. A 1-2-3 inning, but Cano leads off with the home run. His 2nd, ties the game at 3. Speaking of 3, that's it for me. 3 innings. Dave Sims is back. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
This is what it looks like at spring training. The starters, their work is done. They get to acknowledge some applause from the fans here and work their way back to the clubhouse. Robinson Cano, what a line drive home run that was. Probably about 10 feet to the right of where he hit his first home run last week. Very impressive. Dave Sims back with him, along with Mike Blowers and Root Sports crew. As we play now, top of the 7th inning. 3-3 ball game.
Nice.
So Andrew Moore in his 2nd inning. Boy, Moore showed a nice curveball in that 6th inning. Big strikeout of Seguin. A real big guy, 6 foot 195. Star at Oregon State. Mariner infield now: Smith, Jackson, Lopes, and Sanchez. Third to first with Robertson, Powell, and Fields in the outfield.
Dave, we just finished talking to James Paxton, and he seemed happy with his outing today. Said that he basically didn't throw too many curveballs in the first 2 innings, but then he started to throw it more. And I thought it was interesting. He said there was a couple of them there that he wanted to bounce. He tried to bounce somebody, ended up leaving them up, and so he'll continue to work on that. But overall, I thought he pitched well. It's good to see him out there.
You liked what he did with his curveball?
He did. He said there was a couple that he wanted to bounce, but he just felt that he's just starting to get the feel for it. So, but he seemed happy with the way everything went.
High throw by Drew Jackson. That'll be an E6.
Plenty of time. Strong arm, but unfortunate. It sailed on him.
Third error tonight. The man's on. Free pass. Brandon Trinquan is the hitter. Batting in the one hole here. Boy, Moore comes over the top. Does it remind you a little bit of Lincecum when he first came up here? Similar body type.
Yeah, I think that you might be right about that. I hadn't thought about it. I like his curveball. Just has to figure out a way to get ahead of some guys with his fastball. His fastball command hasn't been real good.
Whew. We got a piece of Steve Clevenger, catcher. Says he's okay.
Ooh, that was a direct shot, too.
2-1. That breaking ball could be trouble, and it is. Drops in. That's going to score a run. Home plate umpire Tom Woodring. Close play at the plate. Heck of a throw.
A really good throw by Robertson and a great play by Clevenger, the catcher. It's not easy. You'll see it be a little bit of a short hop, and with the catcher's glove, it's not an easy play for him to make, but the bare hand, strong throw by Robertson, and Clevenger thought he had the tag down in time, and he may have.
Regular season, no doubt be a challenge there. This is Red Noel. Bunt. Throw him out. Lucas make that Smith at third base. So 4-3 lead for the Dodgers. So a good look at Andrew Moore. Oregon Pitcher of the Year as a sophomore and a junior in high school. Breaking ball, good looking pitch. 1-1. Voodoo Down the line, but foul. Out of play. Runner at second, 1 out, a 1-2 count. Curveball similar to what Lincecum had a few years ago.
Yeah, good 12-6 curveball. Has some bite to it.
Four runs on 8 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors made by the Mariners. 1-2 pitch. High fly ball right field. Andy Fields gets under it. Runner tags. Go to third. Gets away. It'll be fielded by Smith. There's 2 outs. Runner at third. Hey fans, a limited amount of tickets remain for opening night, but when you purchase a Mariners 10-game flex pack, you can guarantee yourself a seat to catch the Mariners home opener, plus 9 other exciting games at Safeco Field this season. Hurry up, pick up your pack. Do it today at mariners.com/flex. Lars Anderson, the hitter. Swing and a miss. Nice. 1-1 the count. Mariner runs here this evening. A 3rd inning double by the catcher, Steve Clevenger. Boog Powell, an RBI ground out. Both of those coming the 3rd. Robbie Cano, a solo home run in the 6th. Sharply hit, Drew Jackson. Good strong throw. Big league play by the youngster. Nice rally for him after the E6 to start the inning. Very nicely done. Good, strong, accurate throw. Dodgers lead 4-3. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Mentink here. Where are you watching today's game? Show us by sharing photos of you and your friends cheering on your team. Make sure you use the hashtag #WhereIRoot on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, like Colin here, loving some spring training baseball. And also in attendance tonight down in Peoria, we have Manish. Baseball is back. You are right, Manish. Right now, you get you back down to Dave Sims. Guys?
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Nice night here in Peoria with the Dodgers. A 4-3 lead. Ryan Horstman preparing to enter the game, youngster from South Hadley, Massachusetts. He big swing and a miss by R.B. Fields, leading off the 7th. Second game for Fields. First official at bat. Two and one. Two balls, two strikes. When you were a veteran player, you must have loved the walk that Cano and those guys just took about 15 minutes ago.
It's great.
Soak up a little applause. I'm going to get out of here.
That's the biggest part because the guys come right back. They'll be at the complex early in the morning again.
You bet. 3-2. DeYoung with the pitch, and it's up high. R.B. Fields is aboard with a walk. Split squad action over at Goodyear. Mariners other unit leads 5-2, bottom of the 9th against the Reds. And it's a bonanza night for this youngster. He's got 2 baseballs. Clevenger, an RBI double and a ground out.
Come on, Steve!
Infield double play depth for the Dodgers. Ball 1 to Fields. Over to Goodyear, Tyler O'Neill, a 3-run homer for the Mariners. Mike Montgomery started 3 innings of 2-hit ball, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second. Goes into short center field. Fields in standing at third. Stolen base, E2. Mariners have done a heck of a job stealing bases.
I think Murphy had a chance to get him. It was a little bit of a late jump by Fields. And the throw ended up back up the line. No chance for the shortstop.
Luke Powell with the stolen base earlier. Now this one's that's 16 on the spring here for the Mariners. Clevenger, nobody out. Tying run at third, 1-2. Missed on the breaking ball. He's wearing himself out. He thought he should have hit that one.
Yeah, the breaking ball was right in the middle of the plate.
Here comes Fields, and we got a tied ball game. Clevenger, an RBI ground out. 2 ribbies tonight for Clevenger. Tie game at 4-4.
We saw Boog Powell try to bunt his way on his last time up and ended up going foul. Maybe he'll try it again. Well, the third baseman is on the grass trying to take it away from him.
Skies this one. Medium right field. 2 outs. Daniel Robertson. His first plate appearance. He's had a good spring, hitting .545, 6 for 11, 3 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 4 runs batted in. Some good defensive plays as well. Former Angel. His bunt takes ball 1. Got a good count, 2-0. Reno. Robertson has walked 3 times already this spring. It's the most on the ball club. Four-pitch walk. Go-ahead run is aboard for the Mariners here in the 7th. DeYoung pitched him like he was Barry Bonds at that AB.
They cost him too, because I don't think he's going to be at first base for very long. Robertson really runs well. A couple of outs, why not try to get yourself in the scoring position with a tie ball game?
He's looking for his first stolen base of the spring. He's not attempted one yet. But good wheels, though. Let's see what. There's his lead. And strike 1 to Drew Jackson.
All right, Drew, let's go, baby. Come on, Drew.
Back safely. Drew Jackson with a chance to move Robertson along. Jackson at Everett last year, 59 games, hit .358, 2 homers, 26 runs batted in. Jackson, a 5th round pick last season out of Berkeley, California. Two and 1. Starts Stanford University for 3 years. All Pac-12 honorable mention as a junior. Played Cape Cod League in 2014. Good count for him at 2 and 1. Make it 3 and 1. It's the toughest part about transitioning from college to pro baseball.
Most of the guys nowadays, they've had their experiences in time with wood bats. That used to be the issue, guys trying to get used to swinging the wood bat, but probably just the speed of the game more than anything else.
Fly ball center field. Jackson's retired. So are the Mariners. They do tie it up on an RBI ground out by Steve Clevenger, his second ribby of the night. 4-4 ball game. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
By Delta Airlines. Right now, this game is tied as we head into the 8th inning, but technically, Mariners actually have already won tonight. It's a split squad, and they beat Cincinnati 5-2. Angie Mentink here along with Dave Valley. And right now, there's a lot of chatter in baseball going on about celebrating, or should you not celebrate? What are the unwritten rules in baseball? And we're going to go ahead and stir it up a little bit. I'm going to start with you, Dave Valley. What do you think? Jose Bautista, Bryce Harper, he's been the one that's really come out and say, listen, the game has got to change. What do you think?
This is the reigning MVP, but there's no question in my mind that the game of baseball has changed and continues to change. I think I was raised in the old school. You know, when you hit a home run off of Nolan Ryan, you ran around the bases as fast as you could so he could not remember who hit that home run off of you. But nowadays, guys are out there. It is a form of entertainment. I think all of the great sports in America have become more entertainment, more value that way. So when Jose Bautista flips a bat, it doesn't bother me as much. But here's the thing. It's got to be a two-way street. If he flips the bat on that pitcher, with that pitcher, the next time up he strikes him out and he shows up that pitcher, don't start staring him down as if he did something wrong. It's got to be a two-way street. But I do think the cat's out of the bag. I think the game is changing more and more that way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here, because some players like Sergio Romo, he's coming out against Bryce Harper. He's like, look, you're the MVP, just shut your mouth. But at the same time, he's like, look, I'm standing up for you. Mike Flowers, what do you think? I mean, you've had big home runs in the past. Not you, I'm talking, well, yes, you have. But I'm talking, you've seen big home runs in the past. Kirk Gibson, where there is a celebration as he goes around. Is it okay if the moment is big? Does it have to be big?
Well, I think that obviously if it's a big moment and it's a situation where you've just won the game for your team, and I don't have any problem with it. And along with what Val said, I think it's, you know, the game is funny. The game has a way of policing itself in a lot of different ways. And I think as long as you're not showing up the other team, have a good time with it. You know, it has changed, and my view on it is different than what it probably was when I was playing. And if it goes too far or it gets to be too much, I think the guys will take care of it themselves. But I really don't have a problem with it. You know what? It's been in the game for a long time. You know, Ortiz has been around forever, and he hits home runs, long home runs, and he stands at home plate for a period of time, and that's okay. I guess once you have a resume and you've hit 300, 400, 500 home runs, that's going to be fine. But I think that, you know, there's a lot of chatter about it, and I really don't think it's that big a deal. Bryce Harper is saying, hey, listen, the game has got to change or people are going to get bored with the game. So the question is, what is too much celebration in your mind? What goes too far? Again, I think you have to look at the situation, and if it's a game winner, I'm not sure that you can go too far as long as you're not pointing at the other guy. And if it's just something because you're excited about the situation and you're celebrating with your teammates, I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's when you start calling guys out or doing that sort of thing is when you're going to have the problem. And like I said, I really believe that these guys, they have a lot of pride in what they do, and if they feel like you're showing them up, eventually it'll come back around and it'll police itself. So I'm not going to get too excited about the whole thing, and I think that they should have fun, and I think it is good for the game in most respects.
Because you see it much more in, say, football, and there's a lot of talk about Cam Newton and his celebrations, and are they appropriate, and maybe should he do it all the time on first downs? We saw less of it, obviously, in the Super Bowl. Dave Sims, what do you think? Do you think this is the way that baseball needs to go because it is entertainment? I mean, even Bryce admits, listen, if it's a 10-1 game and you hit a home run and you're showboating, you ought to get hit in the ear.
Well, I understand what Bryce is saying, and he wants to get baseball in terms of its impact as an entertainment vehicle in the same level as pro basketball and pro football. I just think, in baseball, like in other sports, you really have to pick your spots, and you also have to build up a lot of equity in the sport. I think, as Mike talked about, have something on the back of your card, give you some bona fides that you can do that kind of stuff. I think the Kirk Gibson, I thought the Bautista, those are great moments in playoff play. I don't have a problem with that. I know I read the piece in the Washington Post today, Barry Saluga, who did the interview with Bryce Harper, and they talked about the median age for baseball being 56. It does skew very old anymore, And Harper's 23 years old, best player in the National League. I think he just wants to get a little bit, maybe not a little, a lot more sizzle into the game. I don't think it's going to be an earthquake type of change. I think it may eventually come. I don't want, if the guy makes a good play, I don't want dances. I don't want Soul Train breaking out. Let's not get stupid. But there's a certain, there's a certain little bit of, have fun, entertainment level to this whole thing for sure.
All right, guys, we will let you take over the rest of this inning, but I'm not sure it's going to go away anytime soon. I don't know.
Well, that's fine. Any kind of conversation you can have on baseball, and to get it back and get it back maybe a little bit more front burner. Certainly, we're going to take a hit here with March Madness getting ready to start tomorrow with Selection Sunday. But once the season starts, we got to start taking a little thunder away from the NFL. I mean, the NFL has set up its schedule where there's something going on all the time, even when there's not games. And in terms of marketing guys, the top players in the game, I think that needs to be amped up considerably.
Well, and I think that we have a great example of it really right here with the Mariners, and that is with Felix. Felix isn't just a great pitcher. He entertains people when he's out there. He has some flair to what he's doing. He does it the right way. He doesn't show up other players, but he hops over the line and has a good time when he's out there. And when he strikes somebody out in a big moment of a game, you'll see that fist pump and that kind of thing. I don't think that's trying to show up anybody. No. And I think that Felix is great for the game. He's one of the best entertainers going around as far as Major League Baseball
goes.
That's
a guy for my money. I mean, we know him and love him in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, he's a baseball asset, to the entire game. And many times we've sat here, he's ended innings with big punch-outs, and he's roaring, and we get those close-ups. Heck, we're fired up here. Crowd's fired up at Safeco Field. Let's milk that baby. Use it. You have it. That's an asset. Take advantage of it.
I agree.
See if Horseman can get out of this inning. And Drew Jackson stays down to get the force, and that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning on a 4-4 game. Dodgers and the Mariners. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. As we move to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Peoria. Good to have you with us here in Mariner Baseball. Comfortable night. Mariners, some split squad action. One group over in Goodyear playing the Reds, and that has gone final. Mariners 5-2 win against the Reds with Atadilla getting the win. Here in this ball game, 4-4 tie. As we watch Ian Thomas warm up. The Dodgers a split squad too. The rest of their ball club playing back home in Glendale against the Chicago Cubs. So Thomas will face 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup for the Mariners. Tim Lopes will lead it off. If you're just joining us, Robinson Cano, a 6th inning leadoff homer. His second home run of the spring. Line drive over the bullpen in right field. Steve Clevenger's driven in a couple of runs with infield groundouts, well, with a double and with an infield groundout. Boog Powell had an infield groundout too for an RBI. Breaking ball misses to Tim Lopes. Tim Lopes in his second game, he's 1 for 1. And he's driven in a run. Be back with you tomorrow afternoon, 1:10 first pitch against the Reds. And then Monday, Felix makes his spring debut. It'll be against the Rockies. We'll have it for you right here on Root Sports. That's a one. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock.
Go, 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 go!
Chopper. Nice play. Seguin showing a really good arm at third base.
Thought maybe he was going to try to barehand it, but he uses his glove, gets rid of it quickly.
Here's Brantley for the Mariners. Yes, Rob Brantley is the hitter. One. At least when you put the minor leaguers in, a lot of these guys have seen each other, as opposed to a veteran guy who's never seen these guys. Pitchers?
The pitchers, yeah.
Ooh. Take a bag.
Well, at least it was a breaking ball. Still hurts, but better than being hit with a fastball. It's like a curveball hits him right in the shoulder.
Rob Brantley just picked up today, cut loose by the White Sox this morning, and here he is with the Mariners, claimed on waivers by the Mariners. Speculation is that they tried to sneak Brantley through waivers, and Mariners jumped all over him. Austin Casino is the pinch runner at first. And Ryan Stiles, our equipment manager. Great job to get Brantley's uniform ready, lettered up and everything. Way to go, guys.
And a good count for Gabby Sanchez. Let's see if he can get into one, give the Mariners the lead.
Sanchez had a couple of really good years, back-to-back years where he had 19 home runs. Played Japan last year, trying to work his way back to the big leagues. And they got Casino picked off. Throw down to second. Got him. 1-3-6.
Yeah, he was just going on the first move. Unfortunately, the Dodgers were able to pick it up.
Two and one to count to Sanchez. Three and one. Sanchez works a 2-out walk. Time has come to pick up single game tickets to all the games you want to catch this season, whether big series against the Yankees, Pirates, and Cardinals, or fun events including firework and bobblehead nights. You're in for a great time at the ballpark, so tickets are on sale right now at Mariners team stores and online at mariners.com. One of the guys you liked, Mike, Luis Sardinas, had a good game over in Goodyear. Went 1 for 3, drove in a run today. Hitting .476 on the spring.
Yeah, he's had an impressive spring, and again, I really like his actions in the field, especially when we've seen him play shortstop. Strong throwing arm, so he can cover some ground.
Tyler Smith, the hitter. Tyler hitting at .308, 4 for 13. On 1 pitch. Go to work here. Ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball, short right field. Hassan coming over towards the line. And he makes the catch. Deadlift shrimp jersey. Going back in time, huh? And not that long ago. Former Sonic great 4-4 ball game. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Take care. Tune in next week on Wednesday, March 16th at 4 p.m. for a special edition of Mariners All Access. The same day that the team rolls out their always entertaining commercials, we're going to give you an inside look at the making of them, including all of the bloopers. And if you missed the episode, we'll tune in for a re-air that night at 6:30 Pacific. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. We'll even take a look back in the archives at some of our favorite commercials from years past. Dave and Mike, back to you guys.
Angie, thank you. Good look at the moon above Peoria. It's not made for a song, but that was the moon above Peoria. Swing and a miss by Herrera. Single, 2-run homer, and reached on an E6 and scored. Batting out of the 9 hole. Freitas, the former Philly. tough break for Cook, who's down with a lat problem. Former Ryan Cook, former A's closer, was a good one but 3-4 years ago. And Scribner, also formerly with the A's. He's got a lat problem, but he's a little bit farther ahead of Cook, who's going to be shut down for a while. So DeFreitas' opportunity is right there for him. Make this club. Two and two. Breaking ball fouled off. Freitas liking what he sees here in Seattle. Got out of Philadelphia, massive rebuilding campaign there. Again with the Phillies organization dating back to 07. Went 0-2 last year, high ERA, 5.51 in 61 games. Strike three called.
It shows a pretty good fastball right here. Looks like he wants to go off the outside corner. No doubt about it. Seen a couple of breaking balls from him already.
Trinquan, the hitter. Word is that this game, should it go extra innings, will not go beyond 10.
That is not unusual in spring training, especially on a night game when the guys have to come right back in the morning.
I think grateful's the word we're looking for.
I would agree with you on that, Dave.
2-0. Four's in a strike. Now Stoudemire Jr. on the left. Got service moving to your right. It's Casey Candell. Couple good fastballs. Even up this count at 2-2. Freitas trying to put him away. Full count. Payoff pitch. Strike three called. Two away.
And again, he comes right back in a 3-2 count with another fastball right at the knees, definitely on the plate.
Center fielder Noel popped up. Out of play.
Good fastball, elevated in on his hands, tied him up with it.
DeFreitas out of Oxnard, California, 28 years old. Big kid, 6'4", 224. Well, let's see what happened. Who comes up with it? Had it, should have had it. There we go. Breaking ball misses. 2-1.
That's pretty good. Young man never took his eye off the ball, and that's why he ended up with it.
Scramble drill.
That's right.
Three and one. Home ninth. Mariners have the bottom third of their order coming up. Lost control of that pitch and a walk. 2 outs here in the ninth.
Well, after getting the fastball in on his hands for strike one, it's 4 consecutive balls, and he's having a tough time with his breaking ball, throwing it for a strike.
The other day, DeFreitas talked about adding a change in curveball to his arsenal. After some tough losing years, the last few years in Philly, it's time to leave. I want to win. It's good to be with a bunch of young guys who are hungry, trying to set their own course. Two outs and a man aboard here in the top of the ninth, a 4-4 ball game. DeFreitas, a couple of Ks looking, a walk, and now he's behind 1-0. 1-1. Jacob Zabuza is the hitter. 1-1 count. Foul ball. 1-2. Dodgers with new manager Dave Roberts takes over for Don Mattingly. Mattingly and the club mutually agreed that it was time to separate. Don went to Miami. Dave Roberts, one of the really good guys in baseball, had been in San Diego. Was managed one day there after Bud Black got fired. And a former Dodger. Runner going to second. Throw is late. Stolen base. The Dodgers have that big payroll and lots expected of them.
Ends up with a really good jump. Working his way off the bag. Good primary lead. Julio Cruz, who's been in camp, would have liked to have seen.
There's a 2-2. Put away pitch from DeFreitas. No, not this time. Full count.
He's having to throw a lot of pitches. 23 pitches now for him in the inning.
Three-two pitch and a big one. Missed. So he gets consecutive strikeouts followed by consecutive walks. So Lars Anderson now will be the hitter. And DeFreitas needs to put him away. 4-4 game. Dodgers runners at first and second, 2 outs. He has lost the zone. Back with the strike, 1-1. Ball, second baseman. Lopes throws him out, and that'll do it. So DeFreitas, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, a ground out. We go to the bottom of the ninth, 4-4 ball game. Mariners and Dodgers. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Has nothing to do with a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Downtown Phoenix. Northwest of downtown Phoenix, 4-4 ball game. Dodgers and Mariners. Good to have you here in Root Sports. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. All right. Plenty of autographs. Sure they'll put that in a nice display box when they get home. And I got a lot of folks. Sean O'Malley, I recognize that one. Well, the number helped, 36.
I wonder if she was able to get all those autographs tonight or if they've been in town for a while.
I'm going to say they've been here a couple, 3 days. That's my guess. Harvey Fields going to lead things off. Walked and scored back in the 7th. Grant Dayton is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Dodgers coming off winning their 3rd consecutive NL West title. 7 times to the playoffs since 04. not been back to the World Series in a while. It's at 88. Popped up the bunt.
Not a bad idea, trying to get something started, leading the inning off.
And this guy's got good speed. One. Chopper foul. Hold 2 strikes. Fields turns away. Appears we're definitely going to get into the 10th inning as Rafael Pineda warms up. 3-2 to RB Fields out of San Bernardino, California. And he's aboard.
Good start to the inning. Patient at bat.
Fields 28 stolen bases, caught 10 times at Clinton last year. Here's Steve LaRue getting his first chance to swing the bat. To get the first base so he can do some damage here. See if he can score that winning run. One to LaRue. Two balls, 1 strike. Root spent some time at Phillies organization, most recently with Syracuse last year. 2-2.
Yeah, he looked like he had a pretty good fastball to hit right there. Middle of the plate, elevated.
Two pitch. Check swing. Root's been with Philly, Atlanta, and Washington organizations, along with Baltimore during his pro career. 3 games with the Phillies in 12, 6 the next year. Most of his time since 04 has been in the minor leagues. Grant Dayton on the mound for the Dodgers. Minor leaguer since 2010. Runner goes, breaking ball, throw down a second. Not handled, stolen base.
The way the Mariners have been running throughout the spring, I figured it was a matter of time before they try to steal a base here in the bottom of the ninth.
3-2 count to LaRue. Winning run at second plus speed in RB Fields. Three-two pitch. Takes for ball 4.
A couple of walks. You would certainly like to take advantage of that. Still nobody out.
Look at Heredia, signed recently by the Mariners. Young man defected from Cuba.
Let's see if he can get a bunt down here.
Quick conference with Manny Acta, the third base coach. So good situation here for the Mariners. Bottom 9, 4-4 game. First 2 men have walked. There's a stolen base involved. Runners at first and second.
Third baseman in on the grass, expecting the bunt. All right, let him swing away.
Daniel Robertson's on deck. Outfield not deep for Heredia, straight away. 1-0 pitch. Shows bunt. Gets it down, and it will go foul.
Okay, if it stayed fair, he would have ended up with a base hit.
He's got a 1-1 count. So Heredia trying to make an impact here as a Mariner. Way inside, 2-1. Big pitch here, 2-1. Shows bunt. Gets it down. Fields eases to third, and the first baseman just hangs to make that second baseman. Herrera just barely holds on the bag. 5-4, sacrifice 5-4. Well done.
It's a perfect bunt. You want to bunt it firmly, make him come field it so that the runners can move up without a play. That's exactly what he ends up doing, and the throw almost gets the second baseman off the base, but able to keep his toe on it. They'll give Robertson a chance to win a ball game. Oh, they're going to put him on.
Put it in the hands of Drew Jackson.
Robertson not happy about it. He wanted to swing the bat. He's thinking spring training. Come on.
Bob Guerin managing here today. He's the bench coach for Dave Roberts. Split squad the Cubs and the Dodgers at a Camelback Ranch earlier. Split squad action.
It's an interesting situation, though,
right?
with Dayton. He already has a couple of walks. He's struggled to throw strikes, and now you're going to load him up. And now we're going to have a pitching change, it looks like.
Oh, man. And so it goes here as we approach the midpoint of spring training. In that other game, Dodgers beat the Cubs 6-5 at Camelback. 4-4 ball game. Bottom 9. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Mariners. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. We're back right after this. How long it took to grow that beard. Red Patterson. John William Patterson out of McKinney, Texas, 28 years old. Went to college at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. 29th round pick back in 2010.
It's impressive.
Wow. It's like the old House of David back in the 30s and 40s. A barnstorming group.
Well, Bob Guerin, who is managing the Dodgers this evening, has decided that he's going to go with 2 outfielders. He brought the center fielder in to the infield. You can see it.
Well, Drew Jackson, one of the Mariners' top prospects, with a game-winning opportunity here. Breaking ball misses. Bases loaded, 1 out. These 2 outfielders. Bouncing ball goes foul. Manny Acta will field it. This beard certainly beats the length and width of Brian Wilson's beard from a few years ago. Drew Jackson takes a strike behind 1-2. On a 2 to Drew Jackson. Breaking ball went fishing. 2 down. See if Tim Lopes can win the game here.
And they'll send the center fielder back into the outfield now with 2 outs.
Crowds in ball 1.
That's when you need that elbow pad. Just going to stick it out there. And
yeah, Barry Bonds took his
game winner
to Miami, where he's the hitting coach. It's hit pretty well, but it's going to be caught by the center field, and we go to the 10th inning. The Mariners had an opportunity to get a W in regulation. Will play 10 innings. It's a 4-4 ball game. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
On those
by Delta Airlines, and we've got free baseball. We're going to head to the 10th inning down in Peoria between the Dodgers and the Mariners. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here, along with Dave Valley. Tomorrow, if we ever get there, against the Reds, it's going to be Anthony DeSclafani on the hill, while Nathan Carnes will climb the bump for Seattle. We're going to have that game for you at 1 p.m. Remember to reset your clocks, folks. And what do you think, Dave? Does Nathan's job get a little bit more difficult with the night that James Paxton had this evening?
Yes, you know, we saw James Paxton have a very solid outing here today. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, but that was not earned to go along with 2 strikeouts. But Nathan Carnes has gotten off to a good start, too, so we're seeing that competition start to heat up for that number 5 spot.
All right, it's my understanding, gentlemen, we have enough pitching for 1 more inning. Let's hope we don't get a little sister kisser. It's high.
At this rate, with a game in front of them tomorrow, guys just want to get out of here. I can tell you that right now. Rafael Pineda is the new pitcher, 6'6", 210 out of Salem, Oregon. Lives in Fort Worth, Texas. 30th round pick back in 2013. Attended Texas A&M. Last year, 40 games with Bakersfield, a 3-3 record, a 3.33 ERA, all in relief. Jack Murphy's going to lead it off. He's the Dodger catcher. '63 strikeouts, 15 walks last year in Bakersfield for Pineda.
It's a really good ratio.
Mm-hmm. He's rushing it up there pretty good. 2-0 to Murphy.
And right after you mentioned those numbers, 3-0.
Yeah, right.
Tough time.
Should have known. Back with a strike.
Those guys still having a good time.
Best game of my life.
New sweatshirts, too.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah, handshake.
Walked him on a 3-1 pitch. First appearance of the spring for Rafael Pineda. Rob and the rest of the crew, a salute, a tip of the cap, fellas. Morgan, double dipping today. You had Padres Cleveland before this one. And lots of folks in the truck salute you for your efforts and your stamina.
19 innings. Long day for him.
I take the week off. Rest of the week off.
Right back.
We got a game tomorrow. Right? Psych. Pineda walked Murphy on a 3-1 pitch. Now he's 0-2 here to Adam Law. Got him in chase. Strikeout victim, one away. Hear that sound effect, and I'm looking for Vanna White.
Good call.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. He grounds into a double play. Rob Seguin, the third baseman. 1-1 count.
Thought maybe you were going to get what you asked for, Dave.
Oh my goodness. Tried to flip him a ball. Kaboom. 4 for 1. Oh, brother. Oh, man. Ball and 2 strikes. The road, nice work. Keeping that ball in front of him.
Did any of them get the ball?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
2-2. Fastball driven high and deep, left center field. And that ball's gone. Up on the berm. 2-run jack. Dodgers lead 6-4. 2-2 pitch. Rob Seguin, his third home run. He rode it out of here.
And he gets a fastball that he can handle. Elevated belt high, middle in. That's a towering home run, too.
Cano. Alex Hassan, right fielder. Hard time finding his zone, throwing hard. Can't get the strike. Three and one. A walk, strikeout, 2-run homer, and a walk. Elian Herrera, second baseman, and a 2-run homer in the 5th.
And he looked like he tried to hit another one right there.
That was a bomb, too, that he hit.
Yeah, it was.
High, majestic fly ball over the right center field fence. 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes. Six-4 Dodger lead, top of the 10th. One-two pitch. Nathan Carnes will get the start tomorrow for Scott Service at Ball Club. Tomorrow's Mel Stoudemire on the left, Scott Service, Dan Wilson, Mick McKay.
Carnes in a battle with Paxton for that 5th spot.
Mm-hmm. There's one. That's all they'll get. Force on Hassan. 2 outs. Brandon Trinquan be the hitter. Two outs, 2 runs in. Oh, 2.
Dave, at one point we had a nice crowd here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of them.
A lot of people probably want to come back and enjoy the sunshine tomorrow, so they cried uncle and said, "We're done." Check swing, went behind the catcher LaRue, couldn't find it. So the Mariners won a split squad game at Cincinnati earlier this evening. Gonna have to rally to win this one.
And this next pitch for Pineda will be 30 in the inning.
All at 2 strikes. Two and 2. Boy, he's throwing a lot of pitches, as you mentioned.
I'm almost wondering what. It looks like they may get somebody loose out in the pen. Somebody's moving around out there, because I was thinking if it gets much further, they may just take him off the field. You don't want to get somebody hurt in spring training.
I mean, the last count you had him at 30 plus.
He's at
30, 31 now. Yeah. Jeez. That's hit pretty well. Right field. Can't get it. Fields made an effort. Herrera coming around. He'll score. RBI triple for Brandon Trinkwell.
Herrera has scored 3 times tonight. And we'll take a look at Fields. Just out of his reach. Mel Stottlemyre making a trip out to the mound.
Try to restore some confidence, among other things.
By some time, somebody is starting to get loose in the pen now. So
7th man to the plate. That's Ramon Morla. Converted to being a pitcher 2 years ago. Only 11 games last year for Morla because of Tommy John surgery. This is Rico Noel. Nice stop. Throw over. Safe. Run scored. This effort by Smith. Scoring on the play is Trinkwell.
Good play by Smith. Got up quickly, strong arm. And he did beat it.
Infield hit, an RBI for Rico Noel. Inning continues, 8th man to the plate. 7-4 Dodgers. Jacob Zabuzo is the hitter. That's smacked pretty well right at the center fielder. Ready, and that will do it. Dodgers take the lead. Last licks for the Mariners coming up here in Peoria. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Presented by Delta Airlines. We're headed to the bottom of the 10th inning, and things don't look so good right now. 8-4 is where it stands with the Dodgers on top. Angie Mentink here with Dave Valley. But going back to the beginning of this game, James Paxton starts it, And he joins the broadcast, says there was a couple curveballs that he would have liked to have bounced in the dirt, but overall, pretty good night.
Well, one of the things that we heard James talk about that he wants to do is start using his curveball a little bit more. He didn't really use it till about the third and the fourth inning, so we didn't really have that good feel to it. So when he talks about he wanted to bounce, and typically when you're ahead in the count, you want to throw that breaking ball and get the hitters to chase outside of the strike zone. Early in the first couple of innings, he was getting his fastball and changeup up. He started to get that feel for his curveball, and I thought he had a very strong outing. Went 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. That was an unearned run. No walks and 2 strikeouts. But all in all, I thought it was another solid performance by James.
Yeah, you're impressed with the 2 strikeouts, but the 0 walks, you like to see that, him having the command of his pitches. All right, Dave, Mike, finish it out, guys.
You bet. Rob Rogers on the mound for the Dodgers. Austin Cano is the hitter. 4 runs on 3 hits by the Dodgers in the top half of the 10th. Second game for Cano. He's 0 for 1. And 2. Strike 3 cold. 1 down. Brings up Gabby Sanchez. Strike 1.
I would imagine with this game going late, Scott Service, the manager, let the guys come in a little bit later tomorrow.
Two away.
Most of the time, the guys are getting their early work done at 7 o'clock in the morning. I doubt that'll be happening.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
no, that's not happening tomorrow. Schedule. Clubhouse opens at 8:30. Team meeting at 10. Scott Service will meet the media at 10:30.
Yeah, he normally meets the media at 8:30. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8
yeah.
o'clock. Excuse me.
Tyler Smith, 2-0. A breaking ball for strike. 2-1 to Tyler Smith. 2 outs. Nobody on. Bottom 10. Mariners down 8-4. And out hit 12-4. Eight runs, 12 hits, an error for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors by the Mariners. Last Mariner hit was a 6th inning leadoff homer by Cano. Here's a line drive left field. Hooking away from the left field. It bounces off the wall, and it'll be a 2-out double for Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith with his 5th hit of the spring, his 2nd double. RB Fields has walked twice, scored a run, and stolen 2 bases. Ball one. The only game going on in Major League Baseball right now. Two and one. Rob Rogers is the pitcher. So Steve LaRue on deck. Full count. Mariners down to their final strike.
Fields trying to get his third walk of the game. I think he was taking that 3-1 pitch all the way.
Three-two pitch to Fields. And he's walked for the third time. Certainly helps his on-base percentage.
Yeah, in the last 3 innings, the catchers from both sides making a lot of trips to the mound. With the young pitchers in there, probably a little bit nervous, having a tough time commanding the strike zone.
Scott Service probably wishing he was having his post-game decaf right now.
Probably.
Cano and Cruz, they are having theirs somewhere right now. Steve LaRue, the catcher. 2 on, 2 out. Line drive, base hit, center field. They're going to hold the runner at third to load him up and bring the tying run to the plate. What an inning. This coming with 2 outs.
And another fastball in the middle of the plate. Solid line drive right back up the middle.
Guillermo Heredia, recent Cuban defector, bases loaded. He's the tying run at the plate. 2 outs here, bottom 10. And all of this coming after 2 outs, a double, a walk, and a single. Last ball, ball 1. One-0 pitch. Rogers backs off. One. Young man scouting report on him. Good legs, good arm. Hits about 285 down in Cuba. Really good athlete.
Well, I've seen him run. He can certainly get down the line.
Scott Service has got to like what he's seen so far. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And once again, the Mariners are down to their final strike. Tyler Smith at third. You got R.B. Fields at second. Steve LaRue at first. 8-4 Dodgers, bottom 10. Breaking ball. Oh, it stays alive. Look out in that dugout.
Yeah, barely gets a piece of it right off the end of the bat.
into the glove. Game over. Dodgers win 8-4 here in Peoria, Arizona. Long game, went 10. And it's over. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Nathan Carnes will be on the mound for the Mariners. Felix on Monday. We'll be on the air both days at 1 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you then. For Dave Valley, Angie Mentink, Brad Adam, and Mike Blowers, I'm Dave Sims. Thanks for joining us, everybody, here on Root Sports. Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. Dodgers win it 8-4. See you tomorrow, everybody.